Hey, hello everyone, this is Paul from DINTEK. This video is going to demonstrate to you the connection of some category 6A shielded 4-wrap twisted pair cable onto our vertical type or 180 degree EZF jack. Okay, now this jack is a shielded twisted pair jack, and we're going to be using the F-type easy tool for doing this termination. So first let's have a look at the connector. Inside the bag you will find an instruction sheet, so if you're new to this for the first time, the instruction sheet will also explain to you how to do this connection. Now, the connector itself is made up of 4 separate pieces. We have the main connector body. We have the back shell, which goes on after we've made our termination. Then after that we have a clamp which is put in place, and after that clamp goes in, then we can cable tie the exterior shield around that clamp and the back shell. So you'll see, I'll just show you here, when it sits in place, that clamp will come down and we'll put our shield into there. Okay, so we'll put those to the side. I'm going to take a pair of DINTEK shielded and unshielded twisted pair strippers here, and you can see these okay, so we're going to adjust the blade on these just to make sure that it's not going to cut too much through our sheath. I'm going to cut off about 40 mils of sheath. Just need to turn it around once. I don't want to go more than once. I don't want to risk that blade going any further. If it's set to the right depth though, it should be fine. After I've taken off the exterior sheath, I'm going to push the braid back down over the outside of the cable. So that just gets it out of the way so we can work on the internal pairs. I'm then going to separate out my different pairs, and I'm going to remove the foils from them. Now, taking the connector body, you can zoom in on that. See that colour on the connector body. On this side we have our orange and green, and we have our blue and brown here. The orange and green change depending on what connection type we're going to do. Now I'm going to do a 568B connection here today. 568B will have our green terminating on this side and our orange on this side. So I'm going to remove the foil off these wires before I can work on them. I'll just loosen those up. Have to loosen them a bit to be able to cut them and tear them away from the cable. I want to come back in a moment once I've got these all ready. Okay, so we have here our brown pair and blue pair, our green pair and our orange pair. Now the green and orange are going to go at the back. I'm going to give the blue and brown just a little bit more shield, just because they're going to be coming a little bit further along this base. So I'm going to give the brown and the blue about 5 or so mils of extra shield. Well, I probably wouldn't think that that's going to make that much difference. It can make all the difference because these wires, as you'll see here, don't have a lot of twist on them. The reason why they don't have a lot of twist is primarily because we have this foil around the wire. Okay, so we've got our foils removed for those two front wires, and we can remove basically all of the foil for the back. Just cutting into the foil just a little bit, don't need to put too much in there, just so that it comes away. It'll tear off quite easily. So I'm going to take a DINTEK working base, I'll put the jack into that so I can work nicely on that cable. Start with the green wire, following the colour codes for a 568B termination, and getting that colour in place there. And then our blue to the front, you just see that little bit of extra foil in there. I'm just making sure that I've got as much interference reducing capacity on this cable termination as possible. Right, so with our wires all ready to terminate, we'll take our F-type easy tool, remove the jack, place the jack into the cable. These wires will just go through the back of the termination tool. You'll notice that the cable itself comes out to the side, and the jack itself has a couple of ridges on the side of it which fit into these slots here. I'll just slot that in place. Just one termination down, and we've terminated all of these wires and cut off all the spare at the same time. Okay, next process is to take the back shell and just push that down over the connector body. Now once I've done that, I can bring the wire back into place with the cable coming out the back of the connector, and then I'm going to bring my shield up underneath that clamp. As I'm doing it, I'm twisting it against the cable just to make sure that it's coming down nice and neatly and we don't have wires going everywhere. So that's down in place. I'm going to take a last look at this connector, make sure that I don't have any stray wires in there, which I don't, and I'm ready to put the clamp in place. So I'm going to take this clamp here and push it down over the connector body, and it clicks into place. So once I've done that, then I'll take the cable tie that came with it and we'll just pull that down over the clamp, and that will just hold everything in place. Cut off the spare cable tie, and there we have it. A category 6A shielded 4-wrap twisted pair cable terminated onto a Cat 6A shielded easy jack.